Evening, everybody, and thank you for joining me in today's webinar. I want to believe you can see me and I'm audible, I'm loud and clear. So, today promises to be a great one. This is day 10, and this is Track Tech Leadership and Digital Academy. And I am David Abiola. I'm your instructor and I want to be the journey. I want to believe the journey has been a great one and high opener, and you have been benefited immensely from all that have been shared. The next 2 3 days sessions that we have left is going to be practical based, and I'm going to be making some strategic moves with you. So I need you to not take these sessions with levity, take it very seriously because it's going to take you it's going to make you a sought after web designer as you move ahead. So this is day 10, and we'll be looking at migration and hosting playbook. We will now be migrating our server from our local host to a live server, but you need to understand one or two things before we go to that level. So today is going to be a very unique one. Please make sure that you follow me to the end. Now let's go to the learning objective because of time. You need to understand today, you understand different migration methods. We have the plugin methods, the manual methods, and one other method like that. We'll mention it much later. Then you need to know how to plan for zero downtime and data integrity. You want your data to be intact as you move from a local host to a live server, and you don't want your server to go down for hours more than necessary. So you want to implement backups and rollback strategies such that when you encounter an error as you migrate, you can easily fall back to your backups. Then you will also be sharing with you how to choose correct hosting and domain name. So let's look at the migration method overview. We have one, the first one, which called plugin based. Um, the number one and number three, we use it basically for live server migration to another live server. So, but the second one is good for both live server to live server or local server to live server. You can use it. So I'm going to be focusing on the um, server manual migration type, and because it's easier to do and very fast. So we'll be using our file manager or file transfer protocol and our PHP admin import and export features to get that done. Of course, number three is the CLI tool. Those ones you need to start pressing some commands, and I don't want to bother you with all that. So we can just use number two, and we'll move from there. Now, how manual migration. When do you choose manual migration? When to choose manual migration is when you are working with custom server or unique setup. When you have a setup that is unique, for example, a local host to a live host, so you don't just migrate anyhow. So you want to do that manually so that your files, your folders, everything will be moved with data integrity. So the steps you do is that you export your database first, then you transfer your database file and even your files via your file transfer protocol to your live server. Then you update your WordPress configuration file. So you update it, then your website will start to come up live. Then you can also use the search. You of course you also need to use the search replacement tools for URL update. You know, the links that you have been working with on your local server, you want to make it live. So you want to use tools that will help those links to be clickable to come as a live link. So you want to use those tools. So we also have what we call the backup and rollback strategy. So while you want to migrate from a live server to a local server to a live server, or a live server to a live server to another live server, you need to always back up your files and your database before you migrate. It's very, very important. It's one of the things you should first do. And that's what we'll be doing in the practical. So you see how that is done. Then you need to test your rollback by restoring backups on a staging site if you have the time. So now, zero downtime technique. Now, I need you to note some things. There's what we call DNS propagation. In fact, when you buy a domain name and a web host, you want to start building your website. Immediately you buy your domain name and your web host, your website may come up live almost immediately. Immediately you install your WordPress, you start seeing it straight away. I mean, for your live server. But there may become an issue. For example, you are buying a domain name from company A and you are buying web hosting from company B. You can buy it from domain name and web hosting from company A because every domain name company should be able to sell for you a web hosting service. So, but you discover maybe because of company A does better than company B. So you want to buy from domain name from company A and web hosting from company B. You know, there are two separate services, two different IP addresses. Do you get that? And you want to link your domain name with your web hosting. So you want to link the two services together. It does not take it does not happen immediately. There's what we call DNS propagation. I will get there um, much later. So you want to use maintenance mode plugins during your migration. You want to schedule your migration during low traffic hours. For example, you want to migrate from a live server from one live server to another live server. Probably the one live server is not serving you when you want to switch to another service provider. So you want to do your migration when people are asleep, when people are no longer using the platform. And that is why you see those banks, your telecommunication company, they will tell you that they want to do an upgrade. So from so period to another period, the service at times will not be available. Most times what they do is that they want to migrate from you know, they want to do some minor migration and maintenance, as the case may be. Call it maintenance anyway. That is what they call it for you. But more often than not, they may want to migrate some files, some data from one point to another. That's why they do it during the cool of the night. They don't do it when you are using their apps. So I hope that you now understand why MTN will send you a message and Glo will send you a message and they will tell you that the service will not be ready. So when we talk about what I will call DNS CTL reduction to speed up DNS propagation. Let me now come back to DNS propagation now. Fine. Once you buy, for every website you see, there is always a unique IP address attached to it based on the server that website is being hosted in. Do you get what I'm saying? There's an IP address that once anybody goes to their browser, their phone browser or their laptop browser, they go to www.tracktechdigital.com.ng. Once they go there, there is a unique IP address attached to tracktechdigital.com.ng, which is unique to the service provider that I'm using to host that website. If now, for example, I now said that this I don't like this company, maybe their price have increased and I saw a better company that gives me a better pricing offer and I want to migrate from A to B. What happens is that if I'm moving my file from A to B, do you get that? My IP will change. My IP will change. Will have to change from that of A to that of B. And it will not be immediate dot 101.102.3. uh once they go on their browser to visit my website, they will immediately it will immediately load and it opens up for them. If I'm changing to another server, it will not be like that because it's a different name. So it will take some hours for the World Wide Web, for that my new web hosting to propagate my website to the World Wide Web, to the data centers. We have what we call data centers all over the world, such that so when now people now, you know, they search for my website, they go to my website via their browser, they will not be seeing my files in server A again. They will be seeing my file in server B. We do that. We are able to achieve that through what we call name servers. I will show you in the practical session. So I have to change my name server from the name server of company A to the name server of company B. So it's going to take quite a lot of time for my website to propagate. So I want to ensure that the time it takes for to propagate is reduced to the barest minimum. I hope that makes sense. Now let's talk about hosting. Hosting is very key, is very important. I told you, I think in the first session, I say hosting is like the container. It's like the container that contains your file. It's like the shop that has goods on the inside. The bigger the shop, the bigger the goods, the bigger the shop you want to rent. So, and when we talk about hosting, we are also looking at the fact that three things you need to pay attention to when you want to pick an hosting service. You want to pick an hosting service that has more bandwidth. What is bandwidth? Bandwidth is the rate at which data is uploaded and data is downloaded from your server. So for before now, we always have some companies, they give you maybe 50 gig bandwidth per month. That means that the volume of data that can be uploaded and downloaded from your server will be 50 gig. Once you have exhausted that 50 gig for that month, your server will remain inaccessible. And that is where you see they say the server has crashed, the server is down, or some funny words will just come out from the website. Is because the bandwidth has been exhausted. So you want to go for a company, a web hosting company that may give you more bandwidth or even unlimited bandwidth. It is so important. What you also need to factor into it is the number of traffic, is the amount of traffic. You want to create an e-commerce website for a company that has different branches all over Nigeria. You won't want to use a small web hosting package. You want to go for something bigger, something better. I'll talk about that now. So you want to go for something bigger that can accommodate the volume of traffic that comes into that website. You want to also go for a hosting company, a hosting service that is very secure, that your data, your files are very secure in. That's another thing you need to factor in. Then another thing you need to factor in is the the what we call the uptime. Your uptime for any good web hosting company that you are working with, that they will be using, should be 99.9%. Of course, you cannot have 100% uptime for any service, for any web. Even Facebook, they go down. Even ChatGPT, at times you see their website not running the way it should. So at times, but make sure that it is not less than maybe 99.7. So if it's less than 99.7, then your website will be in problem. So check the website. You see that I'll show you in the service provider I use. I'll show you everything so you see. So let's talk about the different types of shared hosting plans that we have. We have what we call the type of hosting plan we have. We have called the shared hosting. Shared hosting is like you have uh, hu- like 10 people living in a room. Just picture how that room will look like. Number one, there will be no privacy. Number two, there will be too much noise. Number three, what happens to one member of that room will happen to all other if care is not taken. If one one room member or one roommate mess or fart, every other person will do what? Will perceive that smell, that bad odor. They will perceive it. That is what share hosting is all about. So shared hosting is you are having multiple websites, multiple web files or web pages inside one central server, and they are sharing one IP address. So the problem with a shared hosting service is the fact that once a website is under attack or misbehave, it has a way of impacting some other websites. But actually, some of these web hosting companies, they have a way of mitigating against it or pushing the effect anyways. But more often than not, it's really there was a company I used some years back that actually they had to migrate my website from a hosting from a server to another server because that server that my website was attacked. I think one person, I don't know what happened, the website got hacked and it was high level hacking. It affected some other website. So they had to beg us before they migrate our website to another server. So, and that's just the downside to shared hosting. Of course, it's very, very affordable, but your resources are limited because all of you are using the same resources. You are using the same CPU speed, you are using the same RAM. That's what you are using. So you'll be sharing it together. And that's why after some time you discover that your website is slow if you are using a shared hosting. So you want to use this for small website, business website, portfolio website. You want to go for a shared hosting, it's fine and good. We also have what we call the VPS. VPS is a like a private room. So you have more control and performance. So we call it virtual private servers. Virtual private servers. So it's not like shared hosting. It's very powerful. It gives you more speed, but of course more expensive than shared hosting. So they may give you a manageable freedom to use it anyways. We also have what we call dedicated servers. We have dedicated server is much more robust, much more secure, and in fact, you have access to one server, but it's very, very expensive. We talk about millions of naira to be able to set up a dedicated server because they will give you a dedicated IP address. So no other person is sharing that IP address with you. So they'll give you a dedicated IP address. I hope that makes sense. We also have some companies also gives you manage WordPress hosting. So the hosting is just for WordPress. So it's optimized for WordPress. They give you backup such that from time to time they back up your WordPress files for you automatically. So when you run into problem with your WordPress, you can easily switch back or roll back, just like I said, and you restore your website back to the previously backed up timing. So you need to understand. We also have reseller hosting. If you have money, you want to do business of web hosting, you can buy hosting from these companies and resell to people. For example, you are running multiple websites. So you can use a reseller hosting. You can get a reseller hosting that gives you more more space, more resources, and you can, as customer comes, you create their own space on your server, and you set up their website for them. You can also use the reseller hosting. We also have cloud hosting, but I will limit my discussion to all which I have said, because cloud hosting is pay as you go. It's pay as you go. Is I think it's still the best, anyways, but you will need a lot of technical know-how. You need a lot of coding skill to be able to find your way around managing some of these servers so that they will be able to work optimally for you. So I don't want to bother you with much details about that. This is not a cloud computing training. So let's stop at that. So, domain name checklist. When we talk about domain name, I'm talking about the address. It's the address of your website. Is where people is what people will go to for them to see your website on the World Wide Web. So, of course, you want to give them something they can remember. If you want to give somebody address of your house, you want to give an address that they know they can remember. So when you are picking a name for your client, or you are picking a name for any website, you must make sure that it's easy to remember. You can use AI to brainstorm, and even some of our web hosting companies have a domain name suggestion tools that will help you to just type in the name you want to buy, and they will tell you if it is available. They will even create some other names that you can, you know, they just help you out. They suggest names for you, and if you feel it's okay, fine and good. You want to go for names that are not too long. You don't want to go for names that are abbreviated, especially if it's not a common abbreviation. Don't want to go for something like that. You want to go for names that includes numbers. You don't want to start using some um, um, symbols. Some symbols, yes, yes. For example, you want to use dash, no, um, APC dash Nigeria. No, it's not professional. You want to go for a name that sings well, that goes well with your brand, that tallies with your brand. So let me now tell you, we have different types of domain names. I will not go deep into technicalities, but I just want to give you an example of it. We have the .com. .com means commercial. We have .com.ng means commercial in Nigeria. We have .org means organization. When you are designing for a business, you use .com. For organization, you use .org. .org.ng means organization in Nigeria. We have .net network, and we have .edu education. We have .shop, .co.uk. Those ones are country based. TLDs, country based. .co.uk. We have .co. Yes. .co, we have .tv, we have .radio, we have .mobi, we have .shop, .ai. We have them plenty, plenty domain names, a domain domain name attachment. Don't worry, when we get to the practical, you will see it. So you want to pick the one that works well for your brand. We even have .ng. You want to pick the one. So, but of course, some of the things that determine your domain name is about the type of project you are working with, the pricing. Is your customer paying? If the person is not paying, you tell them, well, I can give you a .com.ng if you don't mind, because it's less expensive. They will have to buy it. So then another thing you need to note about domain name is that you need to buy from credible sources, credible sources and creditable sources. I was scammed 5 to 6 years ago when I was buying a domain name. I just saw this guy's offline, very good, flattery mouth, went to the website. I didn't do my research. I just paid, clicked on the link, I paid, and I was expecting to see my package in the next 2 3 minutes. But I tell you, it was during the fourth day that I received a message that they are creating my invoice. I was like, and that was not even the issue. The issue was the fact that I called them, and as I was calling, You won't believe it. The numbers were not going. They were not going. And I tell you, I didn't receive the domain name till today. I didn't receive it today. I spent 30,000. 30,000 naira in 2019 is not a small money. That was how much I bought that domain name. I had to buy another one almost immediately because I immediately knew I have been scammed. So before you work with any company. You may not work with the company I'm using, you may work with any other company. But before you work company, make sure you call them. Call them. It is very, very important. Make sure they are reachable. Call their number, chat them on WhatsApp, send them emails. Make sure they have a ticketing system so that you can open a ticket when you have issues, and you ensure that the ticket works. Send emails. Ensure that the emails you send, they receive it. Call them. Call. Listen, hear them. This is very, very important because once you run into problem, they are the one controlling the servers. They will be the one to help you out and tackle any problem. There are some problems that are beyond you. Some website problems are beyond you. It is with them. You have to reach out to them before you can sort things out. So it's very important. Then lastly, when working for foreign clients, please learn about their country's web policies. I'll also say a story. I will share with you a story also happens to me in this line of duty. I think 3 years ago, I was working with one of my clients, a Nigerian but works in the UK, has a company in the UK. I wanted to help the organization set up their website. And my funny self, Nigerian, the way we are, I just got online, went to not this hosting, another web hosting company. I discovered that let me just try these guys out. So I got there, I just bought. They don't even understand what they were doing. I was expecting that they will educate people that wants to use their platform to buy domain name on some do's and don'ts. Just when I put in my details for a company's domain name that's in UK. I registered it as Nigeria. So, and it was successful. I paid money, the company collected money, but I never knew that every .co.uk domain we need another documentation with the government. I never knew. It was 2 weeks after I received the mail that in the next 2 weeks that that domain name will be blacklisted. And if it's blacklisted, the website over 100, maybe 150,000 naira, just a particular website. Then maybe 150,000 naira that I collected will not be accessible after 3 weeks. And that is a problem. So it became an issue to me. So I started calling. The email is not from the domain name company in Nigeria. It is from a domain register company in UK, which these people in Nigeria actually got their license from. So they were not even interacting with the domain with the registers in Nigeria. They were interacting with me. So I begged, I started calling, and they told me that there's really nothing they can do until I provide the details about the domain name and the company and everything. So I had no choice for 2 weeks back and forth. I just had to call my client, and in 2 minutes it was resolved. What I have been battling with for 2 weeks was resolved in 2 minutes. Why? Because I did not study the country's policy, web policies, before I started taking their job. So you need to understand how that goes, please, so that you will not enter into a very tight corner. I hope this helps. So let's look at the action plan, migration checklist. Pre-migration, you want to back up and test staging environment. You want to do that. Migration, you want to execute choosing method. Of course, I told you that we are going to be using a manual method. Then post-migration, you want to test all pages, forms, and links. Then you want to go live after that. And then you remove your maintenance mode and monitor traffic. You want to do that much later. So let me stop here as I try as much as possible to show you what my my domain name. So I use a company called TrueHost, truehost.com. So I will share a link with you. I'll share a link with you. Please just use the link to sign up and buy your domain. They are professional. They are, I want to say, they've not disappointed me. Though at times we may have back and forth and all that, but by and large, they haven't disappointed me. So, see, they have a WhatsApp. This is what I'm saying. They have a WhatsApp line. You can easily chat up. They even have an AI assistant that helps so you can easily work with them. So you want to look at their address. They have a WhatsApp number. Look at their address. They are foreign companies, though. They are based in this is their Nigerian office, but they are based in Kenya, I think Kenya and UK. Because at times it is Indians, the white people that calls me. So, for example, look at this company. They have the hosting company. They have a hosting service. They have domain service. They even have website service. So you can buy template from them to design your website. They even have, and they also have security, web security services. As you can see, look at down here. You see the different types of web hosting service they have. Look at the security. If you want to buy your SSL certificate, you can also get to do that. Then websites, um, some great stuff they do. So now let's start with domain name. Now a client comes to you, say, I want to design a website. First thing you need to do is to check for the availability of that domain name. There are some domain names that are already taken. For example, google.com has been taken, abcs.com has been taken. Some simple words at times have been taken. So you want to go for something that resonates with their brand. So let me use my name, abiola.com, and see if it is available. So you type abiola.com and click on this search. So almost every web hosting company will have this feature. They should have this feature. So this is abiola.com. Let me see. So you can see it is unavailable. Can you see that? So we have, let me see. Okay. So I'm told we have abiola.ng, .africa, .net also is unavailable. .com.ng is not available. .shop, .boost is also not there. Now look at the price. 6,100. That's how much it sold. .ng is how much? 13,500. .africa is how much? 23,000. .net is how much? 21,000. All this price became expensive due to when the current government came on board. It wasn't like this before. Things were not this expensive before. .boost is like this. Like this, .com.ng was free before. The highest I paid then was 1,002, but now it is 6,001. So let's just pray for for better days ahead. So let's check this price with another com- competing company. Let me use smartweb.com. I've used smartweb before, but I think Truehost is better. So smartweb.com. So let's look at how much smartweb, okay, .com.ng then, sorry. I knew it's either smartweb.com.ng. So look at how much their own seven .com.ng here is 7,000, but here is 6 use. This is 22,005, but .com is should be 20,000 naira or thereabout. So that's 25,500 naira difference. So that's why I choose True Roast. So it is better. So let's see if they cannot have abiola.com. So it's almost not available. So let's see if it's available. So we can see it's unavailable. So but they have .store .online .ng is also available. It's still also available. So as you can see, that's how you search for your domain name. So you continue to search. I can say abiolashunde.com. Let's see. Let me go back to True so that I can focus. So abiolashunde.com. Let me search. I know it will be available. Because I'm the one behind Abiola Shunde. So I told you it's be available. So once you get that, you just click add to cart. So it's been added, then you click on continue and you see it continue. I'm not buying, I'm just showing you around. So you want to click this for free, then this for free. This one is 150. So you remember the name server. So once I buy the domain name from them, I'll be given a default name server. So if I now buy a web host from, let's say, SmartWeb now, I have to change this domain name, this name server, to that of SmartWeb. So it's not going to take much time for this domain name to be glued to SmartWeb web hosting. So if I'm buying domain name here and I'm buying web hosting from SmartWeb, I have to wait till the two services glues together. Do you get that? But if I buy my domain name here and I continue, if I click on continue, I'll be told to buy my web hosting too. So I may be told to buy my web hosting too. So they didn't have this. So I can, of course, it's here. I can come over to products and go to web hosting. I can buy web hosting as well. So look at their prices, 2,500 per month. This one will host 10. All these they are what? Shared hosting. It's shared hosting, as you see, it's shared hosting. We have that of 2,500 per month. We have that of 9,625. We have that of 11,000. But I'm using all these are newer prices. I've been with them for over 5 years. So so you want to pick this. Look at VPS hosting. Let's also talk about VPS hosting. Look at it. They will give me one core CPU. They will give me a 2 gig RAM. Then my storage will be what? 50 gig hard disk, just like your system. Do you remember that? Then your bandwidth. This is the bandwidth I was talking about. 1 terabyte. Then of course your data centers will be in Europe and US. That's for 8,800 per month. So you see, it's not is not a small money. So then, of course, operating system is Linux. So you have to know how to find your way around Linux for you to be able to optimally use it. So this is 48,000. Let's look at manage cloud hosting. So this is 14. The cheapest is 14,000. So unlimited sites will hold unlimited site, but all these unlimited sites will be using this storage. Once this storage is filled, no, you can't add any other site or emails to it. Do you see dedicated IP that I told you about? It's also be there. So I'm just showing you around. Look at web hosting again. Let's look at it. For web hosting, to host website, of course, is that SMS. It will it. Then if you have 25,000 people that visit your website most monthly, it's a good way of it's good to go. They can help you migrate this out, then it's 30 gig hard disk drive. So the files that server can accommodate 30 gig. Then you have free.com.ng if you subscribe. Then unlimited bandwidth, I told you. Of course, they give you also free SSL. This is a security certificate. They will give you that unlimited email accounts and all this. Of course, see shared hosting, shared IP address. Can you see that? Then, of course, you'll be given a cPanel to manage your stuff. So that's how it is. That's just how it is. Look at this. The downtime is 99.999 uptime. Can you see that? That was what I was talking the other time. But it's still what shared hosting, where you have your own cPanel. So that's just it. So I hope you get it now. So let's assume that I have added my domain name abiolashunde.com to cart. Then I'll come over to my web hosting. I'll pick this as well, and I'll click on it. So I will now pick use a domain already in my shopping list. So and I click on use. So then I can pay. So I'm paying 18,000. So then I need to add. So then I click on continue. I'm not buying anyway, so it should add the two products together now. So click on continue. So can you see that 15,000? So I'm paying 33,000. Just click on I have read this new. Then you click on come over here. You can create an account. I already have an account. Just fill these details and click on checkout. Once you check out, it will ask for your um just pick pay stack. Pick this pay stack. So it will ask for your account, you can pay via transfer, you can pay via your card. So once you paid via transfer or card, immediately you pay, they will send you an email. You will receive an inbox in your email, something like this. It will contain everything about your domain name and your web. So I'm just going to show you an example of what you will get once you buy your domain name and your web. So that's pretty how to buy your domain name and your web. So it's not something special. It's not something you how to do. So you will get something like this. I just want to show you the message, um, one message that I got yesterday. So as an example, I mistakenly bought a web hosting yesterday. So you have something. So this is the money I paid. So because I'm buying domain name and the web host together, immediately I can start building my website. What did I say? Immediately I can start building my. So you discover that It said I have bought this web hosting service. Can you see it? This you receive an email like this. So telling you congratulations, sorry, telling you that you have generated an invoice. Then this is my login panel. So immediately I've made payment. So this is where everything about your website will now look like. This is your control panel setup, your URL. So this is it is from here that you will enter your but all these are not really necessary because immediately so remember the name server I told you about, that name server that I showed you the other time. This is still it again. Remember the IP, the shared IP address. Ehen. So look at the address here. So all these are there. This is IP address. All these are there. They are there. So to help you out. So once you are paid and you receive this all this information, just make sure that you star it, you save it properly. You now go back, you'll be logged in, or you just go back and click on login. So please pay attention because now I want to show you how you can access your so you want to click on login, then you put in your email address. But already I have signed in via Google already. So it's pretty the same thing. So don't bother yourself about it. So I just want to log in via Google. Don't worry, I already have an account, so you may not necessarily see. So it should load now. Sorry, don't mind my tab full. So I've been logged out. So I'll just empty this. But I'm not buying anything. So let me just empty it. So immediately you sign in, you immediately you log in, you'll be taken to this dashboard. You know what I was taken here was because I had a cart already. So you'll be taken to the dashboard. So it is this dashboard that all the domain you bought. So here it's telling me that I have two web hosting services here and 8 domains here. So I have domains in some other domain web hosting companies as well, but for true hosts, so you know that I'm a good customer. So if I want to see my domain, the domain I have here, so you just click on these domains here, these 8 here. So one beautiful thing about these platforms like this is that once your domain is about to expire, they will or your web hosting is about to expire, they will generate receipt an invoice for you to pay. Just click on the invoice they generate for you. Try as much as possible to pay on time. So look at here because this customer they didn't pay on time, so it has expired. So these are my active domains. So I have close to 15 domains here, but some of them are not, they are expired, some of them are not working again. So I don't need some of them again. So look at the expiry date. So for everything you buy, it always has expiry date where it will due. So from here, I can renew. I can easily renew. I can manage my name server. I can manage my domain name and all that. So same thing also goes for my services. Just click on services and my services. So inside these my services, you can see my web hosting here. So I have more of my files here than here. So um so all these are suspended because I do not I don't need them again. So I don't need them again. That was why they were suspended. So now, um, I want to go to this my web hosting. So I'll come and click here. Now I want to start setting up my website. So I want to show you how to set up your website. You bought your domain name and name web hosting. You are now in the dashboard of your 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 client area of your web hosting dashboard. So you just click web hosting, the web hosting. So this is the web hosting I'm working with. Just click on it. So you see it. Said I've used 26% of the disk I have. So I told you about cPanel. So cPanel is what you want to log in, but I don't normally use this login to cPanel. Rather, I use this quick shortcut to easily enter into my cPanel. So um, I'll just click on File Manager to be fast. Click on that File Manager. So automatically it will take me here. Then I want to click on this CP. This CP means cPanel. I want to click on this CP back. So this is the page we'll be interacting with. So this is my domain name, the main domain name. I have other websites on this domain name. So this is the shared IP address I told you about. Um, so, and we have all these statistics here to help me know how far I have done and what I can still do. So look at the bandwidth I've used for this month, 1.9 gig out of infinity. So cool stuff like that. But that's not where we are going now. What I want to show you now is now I want to design my WordPress website. I want to design. So what I want to do is just to go straight down, scroll down, or I just type WordPress. But before that, I want to check if my domain name is here, is on this cPanel. So I'll just type domain and I'll click on domain. So automatically the domain name you bought will be here. But you can see I have different other websites. What is the main domain here? The main domain is what? The primary domain is here, Abby. But you can see some other websites that I have hosted on this web hosting. This just one web hosting. I've hosted up to 9 to 10 of it. So let's say I want to create a subdomain. I want to create a subdomain. Subdomain is a subset of a domain. It's a child of a domain. For example, have you had something like pos.tracktechdigitals.com? Have you had something like app.xyz.com or something like school dot something the main website.org, church dot kinikon or apply dot something like that. So let me create it for the purpose of this training. So I'll just click on create a new domain. So and I'll type school or abiola.tracktechdigitals.com.ng. So then I'll click on submit. So automatically it will save my domain name. It will create a folder for my domain name. So it says successful, you have done that. So let me check if a folder has been created for this abiola.tracktech.digitals digital.com. So I'll come over to this site tools and type file manager. So I click on file manager. Don't worry, we still go back to our local server, but I need to prepare the view down to see that you can also um so that's my file manager. So this is my file manager. So this is abiola.tracktech. So it is here that I will now post, I will upload my local server or my local files into. But we get into that. But no, now I don't want to upload my local server here. I want to install WordPress into abiola.tracktechdigital.com. So I want to just play around it so you see. So I'll go over to this search tool here. I'll type WordPress. So WordPress. So you want to go to WordPress Manager by Stoftaculous. Click on it. So here you will see the list of WordPress websites that I've designed, have created over the years. Some of them are not working again. Some of them have stopped. And some of them because my clients did not, they didn't pay. So they didn't continue their service. So that's why you are seeing them here. So now you want to click on, I want to make a new installation. So I'll click install. I'll click on this install. So please pay attention. So it's going to ask me which of the domain name here I want to install it into. So I'll click on this. I'll go and look for Abiola. Do you see that? Please, you may not have something like this, but just locate the domain name that you want to install your WordPress in. You remember you are fresh. So your domain name will be there. I just showed you how to check it. Go to domain, you check it, you see them. Once it's there, go to your file manager, you see the folder there. And you now come to WordPress by Softaculous, maneuver your way around till you get here. Then you locate your domain name here. Delete this WP. Delete it. Please make sure you delete this WP. And you want to give it a name. Remember how you did it when you were installing your WordPress in your local host. So you are going to do the same here. Abiola's portfolio. So I can give it welcome to my world. So you want to give it a name, then password. Oh, let me add it. Okay. So you want to put a valid email address. So put a valid email address. Then you want to come over to advanced settings, advanced option. Then you want to pick auto upgrade. Auto, please pick this auto so that you won't be upgrading your website yourself. So WordPress can automatically upgrade the website themselves. So just upload to latest one. So backup, you can also pick a backup. Remember the backup I told you once a week is okay. Then installation details, and you click on install. So that's how to install WordPress. on your website. So once I go to abiola.tracktechdigitals.com.ng. So let me wait till it's finished. Okay, installation is complete. So I'll click on it. Okay, let me go back here and I'll click on this. So see that it's much easier using online stuff than offline. So from here, I shouldn't be teaching you what to do. You go um, to your dashboard. Is that not so? Yeah, you go to your dashboard. So you go to your dashboard, right? So you go to the. Now I told you that you should upload. You should use your coming soon page. So you come over to um, plugins. Remember, your website is now live. Can you see it? abiola.tracktechdigital.com.ng. So it's not, you are not playing around now, it's live. So you come over to plugins, then add plugins, then you go and look for website, a plugin called coming soon. So you search for it. So I always love to pick this guy here, CMP. So over 200,000 installs. Can pick this as well. Anyone but just I love CMP. So I don't want people to see when I'm now building or designing my page. I don't want people to see it. So I will just click on this. See, it has triggered coming soon mode up here. So I will just click on basic settings. So it's not, it's been disabled. So I want to enable it. So for the whole website. So I want to also play around it. So I want to use this theme, this countdown theme. So I want to pick this countdown theme. I'll pick this countdown theme. So anybody that goes to my website now, let me use a private window. So let me go to abiola.tech.com.ng. So they won't see my website. What they will see is just this coming soon. Do you see that? Do you see that? You see that my website is live. So that's coming soon. So I want to also play around the content. I want to change this to we will be live in a jiffy. I hope I get the spelling of jiffy. In a jiffy. No, it's jiffy. Jiffy. Okay, it's jiffy. So you can write here, and I can come over here to Unsplash. I can make it to look for random photo and give it a keyword tech, okay, or digital marketing, so that everything that comes up there. So you click on save, and the timer as well. Remember, I use the timer, so still on customize this timer. Maybe I want to change the date. Maybe it's a 7 days project. I can put it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So countdown for 7 days. Then after that, you hide counter. You can even put your phone number there, and you can edit this here. Let me edit it by made by TrackTech. Nigeria. So I can change this also to TrackTech Digitals. .ng. So then I'll save all. So if I go to my private stuff now, um, Abiola, see, so the color, everything will change. So then you see 5 days. So anything digital, can you see digital stuff? So made by Tech with love. So that's just pretty how to set up. So with this, you can upload your team, get your team. This is a live website. So once you are done, you design your website, just come over here and switch it off. You see that? So let me go back to my private server now and type Abiola. So you see that can you see that it's now back up? So that's just pretty how to play around that. Now, um, as I now start to wrap up everything, um, I want to install. So this is the folder. This is the um, the Abiola.tracktech. So if I reload it, you see that my WordPress folder will be here. Do you see that? My WordPress folder will be here. And this is what I want to do. Let me go back to my server where my folder is, my web file is. So it's so I want to go to my first website. Then first thing you need to do is to do what? So just right click and click add to archive, because your server will only accept uploads that are in zip or RAR format. So let me pick zip format. Then I'll click on OK. So let me wait while it loads. So then I also want to go to my database. So oh, sorry. So I want to go to this my database. So this is my database. So you go and locate my first website. Can you see? So my first website. What do you see? You see WP. This WP is telling you that it's a WordPress table. Do you see that? So you come over to export. So remember, this is my database, my first website. So you go and locate it in your local host now. So you want to export it. So it's telling me, what should I do? Of course, I'm going to pick my SQL. So let me pick my SQL. Then I'm going to export it. So that one will also be in my folder. So I hope this is finished. Okay, it's still loading, it's still archiving. So now I will now go back to my live my live my live server here, and I will search for PHP my admin. This is a live server now, not this. It is this. So we are using this. So I've exported it. So I now want to import it into my live server. So my live server also has a PHP my admin. So under the cPanel. So it will also redirect me. Same way it looks like for the local host, it's also going to look like for the um for the web hosting. So we are going to do that now. So we are going to now click on import. Do you see that? Then you click on choose file. See, look at the way I'm taking it gradually. Then you click on this is the database. Do you see that? Click on open. Then you click on imports. So all things being equal, this should work. So I have imported my database. Oh, oh, oh. No database selected. Okay. Say no database selected. Let me pick this. Let me open this file, the database file, and copy and paste here. So click on downloads, open this file, open this SQL file. The database file is always SQL file. So you want to open it. It's going to be huge. So Control A, Control C, and you want to come over to this SQL. So it's what I have clicked. Then you want to paste it here. Control V. I hope you will not break my system. So then you click on go. I hope it works. Same issue. No database selected. Okay. So I cancel this and I leave it at database my first website. So let me click on go now. It should work now. So I deleted those things. So let's see if it's going to work. I think it should work. If it doesn't work, then there should be an error somewhere else. Yeah, there should be an error somewhere else. You have an error and then check the manual to the heading. Okay. Still says we should go back. Mm, line two. Line two. There's nothing wrong with line two. It's not gonna work. And there's another way I would want to do it, but I'm afraid time is not going to permit me to be able to do that today. So, because of time, I want to stop now. So, in the next video, I will show you how to upload. While I also wait for this guy also to be finished. So, in the next video, I'll prepare everything and I will bring it out down here to show you how to upload your files from local host to your live server. That's what I'm going about. This today, I've been able to show you how to install your WordPress on a live server. So I hope it makes sense. So if you have money, you can buy your hosting, your domain name, and your web hosting service and design something worthwhile for yourself. So this video will be a point of reference if you want to start building your live server. I hope it makes sense. Thank you so much. So in the next episode, I will continue from where I stopped. Then we'll start the business of web design. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you.